Today we're talking about the setup for lab number 25, which is the rate and order of a chemical reaction. First of all, you're going to set up your colorimeter right here. You're going to hook it into your LabQuest via USB cable, and then from the LabQuest you're going to hook into the laptop via another USB cable. And you're going to have your reactants ready, your potassium iodide, your iron 3 chloride, waste beaker, and your cuvette. Whenever you're handling a cuvette, you always want to keep it free of fingerprints. So you might have to use a little wipe over here to wipe it clean. And whenever you handle a cuvette, you really should handle it from the ridged sides, which are here as you can see. And it's going to be different than the smooth side, which is right over here. So you always want to hold it from the ridged side. And again, if you do get it dirty, you can simply wipe it clean with a Kim wipe. It is not the same thing as a tissue, so please don't use a tissue because it will scratch it. All right, so now it's going to be all clean. The first thing you want to do is you want to calibrate your colorimeter so that it does not measure the absorbance of water at all. It's only going to measure the absorbance of your solutions. So you're going to prepare what's called a blank. An analogy would be when you're trying to measure the mass of an object and you tear the balance so that there's no mass of the dish included. It's the same thing, except we're dealing with light now. So you're going to fill the cuvette about 2/3 full with distilled water. Again, you're going to only handle it from the ridged side. You're going to cover it up, and then you might want to just clean it just to make sure on the smooth sides. And then when you open up your colorimeter, you'll see that you can put in the square portion right here, you'll see that triangle, and that's where the light is going to go through. So you want to make sure that it's going through with the smooth side lined up with the arrow. Okay, then you're going to close it, and we have an auto cal button, so all you have to do is hit cal. And if you look at the computer screen, you'll see that it's set the absorbance to pretty much 0. If you're not happy with that, you can recalibrate. But 001 is pretty good, even if it's in the negatives. Okay, so now we're calibrated, and it's not going to count the distilled water. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to do your reaction of your FeCl3 with your Ki. So the directions say to pour the FeCl3 into the Ki. You want to make sure that it's mixed. And there's going to be a reaction. Notice that the FeCl3 has a color, that orangey color due to the iron 3 ion, and that's what you're going to measure the absorbance of as it changes over time. Okay, so once you're ready, what you're going to do is you're going to excuse me, you're going to pour some of this into your cuvette. So you're going to take your cuvette out. You're going to pull it out again, holding it from the ridged sides. You're going to empty out the distilled water into the waste. And now you're going to do a couple of rinses. The reason is if you just pour this in and start the experiment, you've actually diluted it with the leftover distilled water. So you want to rinse it a few times. I'll do it 3 times. And now you're going to pour this into here. You're going to cover it up. You're going to put it into the colorimeter. Oh, sorry, I forgot to wipe that. Then you're going to put it in here. You're going to shut it. And you're going to see what happens when you hit collect. So collect is going to be on the computer screen right up here. You'll see me push that green button right there, and you hit collect. As you collect, you're going to notice that it's going to graph it for you. And before we did all that, by the way, you were supposed to open up Vernier, Logger Pro, pick chemistry with computers, and then you need to make sure that you pick lab number 25 in the advanced chemistry with computers to open up that screen right there, okay, which is this lab right here. So you're going to continue to monitor this, and one thing I forgot to do, unfortunately, is to change the setting of the light to 430, which is right over here, unfortunately, so don't make that mistake. So I'm going to go back to 430, and don't make that mistake like I did. Okay, now you'll see my graph take a very different look. You learn by experience. So you're going to let that go for a couple of minutes, and when it's all done, it's going to stop, and we're going to see what it looks like.